Hi everyone, it's Roya. I hope you are doing great, and as always, it's an honor to have you by my side. In my previous video, I shared a preliminary and purely observational analysis of the two individuals seen in the image and the footage, without relying on any specialized tools or technical enhancements, such as infrared analysis, and based solely on my personal observations. I noted what I believe to be clear distinctions between the two individuals. In that video, I explained the reasons that led me to view them as separate people. However, in light of the recent information indicating that the images were captured on different dates by the door camera, I have reconsidered certain aspects and reached additional reflections. I want to share these thoughts in this video, in the hope that they may contribute constructively to the broader discussion. The points I am going to discuss in this video were in fact already considered when I produced my previous video. However, because I believed at the time that both individuals were present simultaneously, my earlier analysis could not fully apply within that framework. Now that it has been clarified that the image was recorded before the footage we are currently discussing, I have come to understand that my initial observations may in fact be both relevant and potentially significant. For that reason, I will continue with these clarifications. While preparing that video, I compared the two individuals, and through that comparison, it appeared to me that one of them seemed older and, at the same time, more masculine in build. In contrast, the other individual appeared younger and noticeably smaller in physical stature. When I watched this footage for the very first time, this point caught my attention. This physical proportion, especially at this specific moment in the video, stood out to me. Look at what happens when this individual turns their back to the camera while searching for something to cover the camera with. The back of their pants becomes visible. In my view, from the waist down, it appeared that these pants may not even belong to this person. The reason I say that is because when the fabric stretches and the body outline becomes more defined, the proportions do not appear consistent with this person's frame, especially the wear pattern on the back of the pants. The kind of shaping that forms over time from repeated sitting or pressure, seems to suggest the lower body structure of someone different from the person we see in the footage. It seems to me that the pants might have belonged to someone with a larger, more masculine build, like this person. In other words, now that it has been revealed that the two photos were captured on two different dates, it gives me more justification for believing that this person might have put on this person's outfit. I even found a subtle, narrow strip on the jacket of this person too, which may give us the meaning that the person we see in the footage might have put on the other individual's clothing. If what I am considering is accurate, then it would suggest that both individuals may have been wearing the same clothing. And if that is the case, the presence of the backpack we see on this person begins to make somewhat more sense to me. Here is why. At the time I was analyzing the images, I initially believed that both visuals belonged to the same time frame as the footage we are seeing. For that reason, I did not highlight this particular detail in the video. However, while working specifically on the facial area of the individual beneath the mask, there was an instance where I attempted to remove the background of the image for clarity. When I removed the background, something unexpected remained. At the back of the individual's neck, there appears to be a visible form or structural outline, something that suggests the presence of an object positioned on the back or resting behind the upper body. This interpretation would suggest that there may have been some kind of visible marking, a label, logo, or distinguishing visual feature, located on the back portion of the jacket. It appears possible that the first individual may have attempted to conceal that feature using the object visible on their back, the exact nature of which remains unclear. Similarly, when the same clothing appears to be worn by the second individual, that same area seems to be covered by the backpack. Taken together, this pattern may indicate a consistent effort to obscure a specific section on the back of the jacket. I'm not presenting this as a definitive claim, but rather as a visual element that emerged during image processing and warrants closer examination. As always, I'm not asserting that any of these observations are absolutely conclusive. I simply felt they might contribute something meaningful, and I hope they do. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If this analysis gave you something to think about, I invite you to share your perspective in the comments. Thoughtful discussion matters here. If you believe in careful, fact-based conversations around difficult cases, consider subscribing and supporting the channel. I appreciate your time and your discernment.